and you want your body as one unit in one line, one straight line from the top to the bottom. You do not want to stick your butt out like that, and you don't want to let your hips droop down like that, okay? That's just disengaging your core and your ab muscles and putting all the pressure on your lower back. So right there. Hi, Coach Padgett here, and today I'm going to be showing you some chest exercises. I'm going to be demonstrating these chest exercises so you can go ahead and follow along. It's going to be from the safest to maybe not as safe, still pretty safe. So we will start with the push-ups, we will go into dumbbell bench presses, and then barbell bench press. These exercises are pushing movements. They're going to work your chest as the main muscle. Then they're going to work the shoulders and then the triceps, the back of the arm. These other muscles are assisting muscles, okay? And if you want to learn how to do these things without hurting yourself long term, go ahead and follow along. And even if you know how to bench press and you know how to do some push-ups, or you think you know, maybe you might get a little nugget of knowledge from this video that you didn't know otherwise. So go ahead and follow along. I'm going to show you some tips I've learned over time just from experience, doing things the wrong way and learning the hard way. Okay, so why don't we get into it and I'll show you those movements right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. You can see I have a 5-pound dumbbell. You can use anything from a 2-pound, 2.5 to 3-pound dumbbell, 5 pounds, anywhere around there, okay? You just don't want to go too heavy on this one. This exercise is what I recommend doing before any kind of chest presses, okay? This is called a external shoulder rotation, okay? You're going to lie on your side, and you could do this standing as well with a cable machine or rubber bands, but I'm going to show you this version because this is most likely what you're going to be able to do at home, okay? And I'm about to demonstrate how to do it, but before that, I'm going to tell you two reasons why you need to do it. One is it will strengthen the inside of your shoulder joint, which most people's inside of the shoulder joint is weak. And two, it will help warm up the inside of your shoulder joint, okay? And you may say, hey, but I do a warm up. I run on the treadmill or I jog, or, okay, that's great. That warms up your body, gets your cardio going, but it's not going to warm up that specific joint, the shoulder joints, okay? You want to get blood in there and you want to get those joints nice and warmed up before you put a tremendous amount of stress or pressure or weight or whatever you're going to do on those joints, okay? This is how you do it long term. This is how you keep your shoulders safe for decades, okay? This is how it's done. So follow along. Here we go. All right, so you're going to lie on your side. You're going to support your neck, okay? Just put your hand on your head right there. You're going to put your elbow and your arm against the side of your body. All right, go ahead and grab the dumbbell, and you're going to keep your forearm in line with your elbow, and you're going to rotate up towards the ceiling, okay? And you want to go all the way down to your stomach and as high as you can when you rotate back, okay? You don't want your elbow and your arm to start coming off your body a bunch of inches, okay? You want to keep it pinned to your side like that. And you want to make sure you do at least 2 to 3 sets of about 15 reps, okay? I'm just showing you the other side here. Try to keep the motion controlled. Only go as high as you can. And if you start rotating the body, like meaning your back's going towards the ground more, then you're probably going too heavy or you're just not paying attention. You got to keep it nice and controlled, okay? All right, next one. I'm doing this standing. I'm going to align my elbows with my shoulders, making like a rectangular kind of shape with my arms. And this is the same type of movement. I'm doing an external rotation, but with the upper arm in a different position, obviously. So this is very important to do as well. You're going to bring the forearm down to about parallel to the ground and go up as high and as far back as you can, as you comfortably can, okay? Work within your own range. You will get better as you go along, but try to keep the movement strict. Same thing, 2 to 3 sets of 15 reps. All right, this next one is if, I have a little elbow powder here, is if you can't do the standing version I just showed you. This is going to regress it back a bit, okay? You want to line up your elbow and your upper arm with your shoulder, and your forearm is going to be lined up with your elbow. You want it to go about 90 degrees, okay? This eliminates the deltoid, which is like the shoulder cap muscle, from the movement. So if you have pain doing external rotation standing like I just showed you a moment ago, you're going to go ahead and do these instead, okay? Either sit on the ground and get your arm on a chair or on a bench or something like this, or you can do it standing as long as you can get your arm in this same position, okay? Nice and controlled. Same thing, 2 to 3 sets, about 15 reps, okay? This is gonna be before your chest exercises. You don't wanna bring your arm in like this, and you don't wanna bring your arm out like that. That only happens because your body is trying to make the movement easier, okay? Bringing it in towards the body makes it easier, and so maybe you might not be paying attention when you do that. This is how it looks from the side. Again, work within your own range. Come back as far as you can comfortably. Try not to swing the body or anything. Try to keep it nice and controlled, okay? This will build you back up to being able to do the standing version of this with your arm unsupported, which you should be able to do eventually. If you have to go down to 1 pound on this one, go down to 1 pound. If you have to use a water bottle, use a water bottle. All right, we got table push-ups here, and you can use a countertop as well. You can use a rail, anything that's about the height of your waist or your hips, somewhere around there. These are beginner level push-ups, okay? This is where you're gonna wanna start. Even before you go to the ground, to the beginner push-ups from the knee position, or also known as the female push-up, this is a great place to start, okay? So you can do this in your house, you can do this outside on a strong metal rail, something like that, okay? And I'm gonna show you the positioning of your hands, your elbows, your shoulders, and the rest of your body, okay? This is gonna apply to all the other push-ups, including taking them to the ground, putting weight on your back, all that kind of stuff. All these same principles are gonna apply, okay? So here we go. All right, you're gonna get about your shoulder width, and you're gonna go just outside that by a few inches, okay? And you're gonna place your hands in a neutral position, and your elbows, you don't want them too wide because that's gonna put too much pressure on your shoulder joints, okay, in a really bad way. And you don't want them too narrow, okay? You want to have a position where your elbows are in between the two, okay? So slightly downward, but not too narrow. And you can see my forearms are pretty much in line with my wrist, and everything else looks pretty lined up. I'm not elevating my shoulders are staying down, and my chest is going down to about midpoint on the table, okay? This would be too wide, especially for a beginner. And this is too narrow if you're just trying to do basic push-ups, okay? And you can see the elbow position, you can completely do it differently just depending on how you rotate your shoulders. So if I did something like this, or you saw somebody doing something like this, that's because they're working their triceps, okay? Whether they know it or not. That's okay to do, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just that's not what we're trying to do right now. We're just doing basic chest movements, okay? So here's how it looks from the side. And you want your body as one unit in one line, one straight line from the top to the bottom. You do not want to stick your butt out like that, and you don't want to let your hips droop down like that, okay? That's just disengaging your core and your ab muscles and putting all the pressure on your lower back. So right there, I just made my butt and abs hard, okay? I just contracted my glutes and my abs. And my body is staying as one unit up and down, okay? The edge of the table is about midpoint on my chest, which is about nipple line, maybe even just a little bit below that, somewhere around there, okay? And you want to get about, especially if you're just starting, about 2 sets. If you feel okay going to 3, go to 3, but at least 2 sets. And a good number is like anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. But if you can't even do that, just don't worry about it. Just start with what you can. Even if it's only 1 rep, that's okay, okay? Just start with 1 rep, do 2 to 3 sets of 1 rep. And then from there, the following week, you'll be able to possibly do 2 reps. And then maybe the following week you do 3. And next thing you know, you're doing sets of 15 reps, okay? That's what I've done with a lot of my exercises when I was so weak I couldn't do any. So don't feel bad. If this is too easy for you and you're like, this is a piece of cake, maybe you just do 1 set to warm up or to get the elbow in the hand position if you've never done them before. But we're gonna move on to the bench that you can see below the table. All right, here we go. So here's the bench. And same positions apply for the shoulders, the elbows, hand positions, everything. Glutes tight, abs tight. And if you can pump out 15 reps, go ahead and pump out 15 reps, okay? And I didn't mention, but on all these push-ups, I'm on my tippy toes, okay? So just so you are aware of that. And we'll move on here. This is gonna be an overhead view, just so you get a better idea of the elbow position, because I don't think enough people show all these angles for the viewer at home. If you're like, well, what does he mean with the elbows? This is what I mean. Look at the angle really good. Try to mimic that when you're doing your push-ups at home, okay? If you need a mirror, get a mirror, okay? All right, we're gonna move on. If you have access to a barbell at home or at a gym, These are great. These are really great, okay? Because you can always lower the bar lower and lower, lower as you get stronger till you reach the ground position. And as you can see here, I'm moving my thumb over the bar, which is called a false grip. This is gonna help you move your elbows more freely so you can get them in the position that I was suggesting, which is a slightly downward angle. Not all the way narrow, but a little bit more downward, okay? When you have your thumbs wrapped around the bar, your elbows tend to want to flare more, okay? All the same positions apply. Okay, look here. You can see that my wrist is not lined up with the bar. This is something that goes overlooked very easily, and that's how people just irritate their wrist or hurt their wrist. You want to line it up with the bar, okay? Just like that. You see how it's lined up? This goes overlooked a lot. There's two bones that come out from the end of the wrist right there, and you want to line those bones up with the bar. And that's going to take a tremendous amount of stress off of the wrist itself, okay? Off the soft tissues of the wrist. All right, here's the female push-up, also known as the beginner push-up. And that's way too high with your hands, elbows way too flared out. And this is going to be hands way too far back, okay? So here's the basic neutral position you want to be in, right here, okay? And as you can see, my body's straight. Before we move any further, go ahead and subscribe. 90% of my viewers are still not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell button, and you will get some really good videos coming your way. This next one right here, I am going to show you the wrong body positions. Butt sticking out too far, abs not engaged, my face kind of wants to hit the ground like that, and I'm not really getting a great workout that way, okay? It's not going well. I'm not getting my abs stronger. My core is not working all together with the rest of my body as good. So now I'm going to contract my glutes, contract my abs. Much better right in here. This is how you want to do the push-ups. All the way up, all the way down, okay? You don't want to do half reps. All right? If you're doing half reps, you got to move your body back up to the bench position or the table position or the counter. This is with dumbbells. This is if you want to get further range, which I highly recommend that you do. You can go a little bit, like another inch or two down below ground level compared to just doing your hands on the ground, okay? And the dumbbell positioning is how I mentioned you want to put your elbows in. All right, here's the regular basic push-up, okay? You don't want to have your back too rounded, and you don't want to have your butt sticking back like that, because again, you're not using your abs. You want to contract your glutes, contract your abs, and you want to keep your body straight as in one unit, up and down, straight just like that. And right here I'm using a little bit of padding. It's just a regular mat for your shoes. And then these little rubber pads I have just because my floor is really hard. All right, you don't want to do it like that. You can see my body was kind of swaying a little bit like that. And then like this either. You're going to put all the strain on your lower back. And you're going to feel like, why does my back get sore every time I do push-ups in a bad way? That's why. Here's another common one I see. Back rounded, partial reps, head down, putting all this pressure on your cervical spine. You don't want to do that, okay? And here is from the back position, just so you get an idea of how it should look. And you're going to want to tighten everything up, and the whole body works as one unit, up and down, okay? Every time you get stronger, you're going to want to go to a more difficult and challenging push-up, okay? Or add reps first, make sure the form's good. You're going all the way down to the ground, all the way back up. And then you can progress to the next push-up that's a little bit more challenging or harder. This is the wrong form. Back rounded, partial reps right here. I see that a lot. Also letting the hips drop down like this. Again, incorrect. Putting too much pressure on the lower back, not using the abs, or butt sticking up. Same thing, not using the abs. Getting tired, so you stick your butt up, right? This is what it looks like correctly. You're going to contract the glutes right in here. Watch. Boom. Make the glutes hard and then abs hard. And then now you're going to see the body work as one unit. Straight down, straight up, all the way down, okay? All the way down, all the way up. And then here is from the front position, again, just to see the elbows. And it should look just like that, okay? Body staying in a straight line. Keeping the shoulders down. And if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you're just trying to have better form. All right, this is for when you get stronger and you want to add weight. Just get a basic backpack like this. And I have a 25-pound plate right here. But it doesn't have to be 25 pounds. Maybe you start with 5 pounds. You start with a 2.5-pound plate, something like that. But you're going to throw it in here. Make sure the backpack's pretty strong. Make sure it's not flimsy. And I have this little compartment in here that you can put folders or books. And this helps me keep the plate from sliding around inside the backpack. It has a little Velcro right there. I just close it up, and then I'm gonna show you how I throw it on. I just make sure I put it high enough, get it on there, loop it through, get my other arm in there, and then I'm gonna pretty much pull on the straps to make sure they are all the way tight, okay? Again, you don't want the backpack just bouncing around everywhere, okay, or sliding around. So I'm gonna lean forward a little bit, let the plate slide up on my upper back. You don't want the plate on the lower back. It's just really awkward, and it's gonna put awkward pressure on your lower back in a bad way. And here you go. Got my abs tight, my glutes tight, and I'm just gonna rep out about 15 reps. And as you progress, go ahead and feel free to add more weight. You can keep adding weight, you know, and this is a great way to do it on your own without having to rely on somebody to put the weight on your back, pull the weight off, worry about the weight slipping off and smashing your fingers, anything like that. This is how you take it off. And then I'm gonna add 10 pounds right here, as you can see. I'm gonna put it in the other compartment. So again, it's just not sliding around, okay? These are great. These build the chest really good. They build your strength really good. You have to use your core. You're not just lying on a bench and not really using your core at all. You're gonna strengthen everything. So I've gotten some great results in my pec development and my chest development with weighted push-ups like this, and they're really easy on the shoulders. I think they're easier on the shoulders, honestly, compared to barbell bench press or even dumbbell bench press. All right, this is the TRX. This is a great little travel tool when you don't have any equipment with you, but it's also great to use at home. You can do almost any exercise with it, with the entire body. Today we're just covering the chest stuff. This is a little door attachment that you can see right here. I'm gonna take the door attachment off, and I'm gonna hook it onto the other attachment it comes with, which you can wrap around any tree or any bar or anything like that. I just have it hooked up to my pull-up bar. And I already have it on a setting that is, the length is proper for push-ups or back rows or anything like that. So here we go, here's how it looks. This is gonna focus a little bit more on stability in the shoulder joints, but you're still gonna get a little bit of a workout, a pretty good workout with your chest. This might feel easier at this angle than, as far as like strength goes, compared to maybe a solid object you're grabbing onto like a barbell or a bench. But you're gonna feel more shakiness coming from your arms because you have to stabilize a little bit more, okay? If you wanna make the weight heavier, you would take a few steps back. If you wanna make the weight lighter, you take a few steps forward, and I'll demonstrate that right now. Elbow and hand positions are still remaining the same as earlier, as I mentioned, a slightly downward angle. So if I step back like I just did right now, that makes it a little bit more challenging, adds weight to it. And if I step forward, it's gonna make it a lot easier. You always wanna be in line with the anchor point, which is the point above my head that I connected it to. And you can do it I could face the opposite way if I want to. I can face the wall. You don't wanna get the the shoulders up like this, okay? You wanna keep them down. Just keep that in mind as well, like I said earlier. And you're staying on your tippy toes, okay? Abs tight, glutes tight, just like earlier. 2 to 3 sets, 15, 20 reps, something like that. You can even do less reps, you know. All right, here we go. So we've got the bench press, okay? Dumbbell bench press. This is the position you don't want to be in, I'm sorry. You don't want to have your elbows all flared out like that, which I see so many people doing it like this, but you're going to put way more pressure in a negative way on your shoulder joints. More wear and tear, basically. That's unnecessary. Bring it down just about there. Just that small movement makes such a massive difference, okay? This is going to keep your shoulders safe. You're still going to get excellent results and put excellent amount of pressure on your pecs and your chest. You do not want to elevate. This is what happens sometimes when people just strain. They're tiring themselves out, so their trapezius muscle kicks in and their shoulders go up. That's just bad form, just getting the elbows that high. Or too narrow. Again, like I said, if you're trying to do like triceps, that's different, right? That's okay, but just regular bench presses, no. Do not want to do it like that. And your hands. You don't want your hands to lean back like that because that's awkward pressure on the inside of the shoulder joint, and you don't want them to lean down like that. You're gonna hurt yourself if you do one of those. You want everything to be in line, okay? It's called stacking your joints. You want to stack your joints so they're right on top of each other, okay? Most people don't show this angle, but I want you guys to be sure of what position I'm talking about when I'm talking about what position that your shoulders and your elbows and your hands should be in, okay, and your wrist. So again, shoulders down, and this is the position you're going to be doing it in, okay? Just like that. All right, next we're going to move on to the actual dumbbell bench press, okay? All right, you're gonna grab the dumbbells, put them on your lap, okay? You can actually put a lot of weight on your thighs like this and it feels fine, doesn't feel bad at all. You're gonna keep the dumbbells close to your body when you lie back, okay? Go ahead and lie back kind of quickly. And then go ahead and get into the right position. Make sure everything's lined up correctly. Feet are gonna be wider than hip width. And you're gonna go slow and controlled on the way down and fast on the way up, okay? Slow and controlled on the way down, fast on the way up. So you get kind of a tempo going here, and you can see that I'm not bouncing the weight. Even though I'm going at a good tempo, I'm not bouncing the weight at all at the bottom, okay? Nice and controlled. And then same thing when you're gonna sit up right now, you're going to lower the weight down to your chest and stomach area, and then you're gonna bring your knees up and swing them forward. And at the same time, try to sit up. So the weight of your legs is gonna help you come up. Because as you start going heavier on the dumbbells, you'll notice you have to have that technique down. When you go really light, it doesn't matter. But when you start getting up there to 40 pounds and up, you're gonna start, maybe even 30 pounds and up, you're gonna have to start swinging your legs or learning how to do it properly. So you don't strain your back while you're sitting up. Okay, same thing here. This is from the side position so you can see what I'm doing here. Grab the dumbbells, put them on your lap, keep them close to your body when you're gonna lie back. Get in the right position. All right, let's talk breathing real quick since I haven't mentioned that this whole video. So typically the advice is on the way down on the bench press, you wanna inhale, and on the way up, you wanna exhale. What I find that works really, really good just through experience and over time lifting many years is that's fine. You wanna take your breath in on the way down, but you wanna actually hold your breath a little bit as you start pushing up. And you wanna get at least like halfway to 3/4 of the way up before you release that breath, because you have this internal pressure in your body that builds up when you inhale. And if you exhale too soon, before you, like right when you start pushing the weight up, you feel like you just lose that strength. You just lose that internal pressure. So I would recommend you do a slight holding of your breath, just a little bit. You'll see the difference. You'll see what I mean. If you're just breathing in and out, in on the way down, out on the way up, you're gonna see that you feel a little bit weaker on the way up, especially when you start. You might not notice it with light weights, but when you go heavy, you're gonna notice it. You're naturally gonna wanna hold your breath a little bit. And I wouldn't worry, I wouldn't be paranoid about that. You hear that, that's terrible, don't hold your breath. I think it's totally fine. As long as you're not holding your breath the whole set for every single rep, you're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was a little tip. And if you start getting tired, you're gonna wanna drive your feet into the ground and contract your glutes. And this is gonna give you an extra push, okay? And if you still need an extra push because you're tired and you're getting towards the last rep or two, or you wanna pump out one more rep, whether you're doing dumbbells, barbell, doesn't matter. You're gonna actually squeeze the handles or the barbell like you wanna crush it, okay? And what this is gonna do is it's gonna actually recruit more muscle fibers and help you push a little bit more weight, okay? And it might be just enough to get that last little half of the rep of the way up, because maybe you're halfway up and you're getting stuck on the lift, and maybe you just doing those two things, contracting your glutes, driving your feet into the ground, and also squeezing the bar and acting like you're trying to crush it. That might just give you enough recruitment of muscle fibers that you can push the weight all the way up, all the way through, okay? That's a powerlifting technique. Okay, see this position here that I just got into? Feet on the bench. That's gonna help keep your back nice and neutral for those of you that have lower back issues, okay? Great position to be in. You're not gonna be able to do as much weight initially, but it's great to keep your back safe, okay? So you don't arch the back. All right, here is the barbell bench press. Okay, you can see same elbow position. I'm lowering the bar to about midpoint, about nipple line, right? I am not elevating my shoulders. have a good tempo going. I am stacking my joints properly. I'm not letting the bar fall forward, not letting the bar fall back. And I'm racking the weight carefully. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to do it the wrong way, or this is kind of common. You're gonna see partial reps like this, not on purpose, they're just doing it because they think they're doing it right. And then come up and boom, lift the shoulders off the bench. And they start getting momentum and they start really, at the very end of the rep, they come up and boom, lift the shoulders off the bench, right? Because they're just trying to get the weight up there, and it's like, that's not correct. You wanna keep the shoulders back the entire time. And I'm gonna demonstrate that right here with some more weight. From the side position, have a good tempo going. So even though you can see in the mirror, I'm not lifting my shoulders off the bench, even though I'm extending my arms all the way, okay? Nice and controlled, I'm not bouncing the weight off my chest. Have a good tempo going. You wanna get 2 to 3 sets of about 12 to 15 reps, okay? And if you can't, then maybe you're just going too heavy, okay? It's important to note though that the weight you use, of course it matters for what goal you're trying to do. So if you really want to build muscle, 8 to 12 reps is a good range, okay? If you're really going for building muscle and getting stronger. But I always recommend starting at about like 12 to 15 reps because your risk of injury decreases as you lower the weight. So as your reps are higher and the weight's a little easier, your chance of injury, in my opinion, is less and less. So for those of you that are just trying to get in shape and are trying to just be healthy and you want to gain some more strength and you want your body to look good, but you're not necessarily concerned with being like the heaviest, strongest lifter in the gym and I have to increase my weight by 20 pounds every time. If you're not concerned with that, then there's no problem in going to 15 reps, or if you even want to go to 20 reps, that's a little bit on the lighter side, you know, even 15 is considered light, but I tend to prefer 15, 12 to 15. That really is a really good, safe range, and you get results. You get stronger, your joints are safe. I'm happy with the way my body looks. I feel like I've gained the amount of muscle I would have liked to gain. It just keeps looking awesome as long as you know how to eat properly and you're working out consistently. 15 reps is great. You get a lot of blood into the joint. I'm not saying once in a while you can't have a heavy day where you feel really good and you want to go extra heavy and maybe you load it up a little heavier and you go to 10 reps only or 8 reps only. But just in general, 15 reps, 12 to 15 is just a good, healthy, safe range to be in and to be able to handle the weight properly with good form and to stay safe long term, okay? Remember, there's other variables you can change. You can change the tempo, you can do negatives, you can do stripping sets, pyramid sets, drop sets, you name it. There's also sorts of other variables you can play with besides the weight, besides how heavy or how light the weight is, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's gonna conclude this chest exercise video on how to do basic chest exercises and how to do them safely for decades and keep your shoulder safe, okay? So I hope you guys have a good day and keep tuning in. I'm gonna keep releasing some more videos. Thank you for your patience. If you're still with me at the end of this video, and I have more videos coming your way, all right? Have a good day, take care, bye-bye.